In a world where tariffs rise and fall like ocean tides, two headlines this week have caught everyone's attention: President Trump's bold claim of a new trade deal with Indonesia and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's insistence that the China timeline remains flexible. Buckle up, because today we're unpacking the real story behind these sound bites and having a little fun along the way. First up, Indonesia. Just this Tuesday, President Trump swaggered out of the White House briefing room and told reporters that he had struck a deal with Jakarta. In Trump speak, that meant US exporters pay zero tariffs to sell into Indonesia, while Indonesian goods heading to America will face a 19% tariff. They're going to pay 19% and we're going to pay nothing, Trump bragged. But let's look beyond the Twitter-friendly soundbite. In reality, the deal is a negotiated retreat from Trump's own threat of a 32% tariff on Indonesian exports. So Jakarta ends up with a cut down from a potential 32% to 19%. Meanwhile, the US gains tariff-free access, but on what exactly? Jakarta didn't agree to this for fun. The package includes promises to buy 50 Boeing wide-body jets, some $15 billion of US energy products, and about $5 billion of American agricultural goods. Plus, penalty tariffs on goods transshipped from China through Indonesian ports, a clever way to crack down on Beijing, while luring Southeast Asia closer to Washington's orbit. But make no mistake, this isn't charity. It's geopolitics dressed up as commerce. With China looming large in Southeast Asia, the US needed a win to show it can still swing a deal. Trump needs to tout victories ahead of November real or paper ones. And Jakarta got squeezed to play ball. Online, the deal sparked satire. One commenter quipped, "Bessent called it flexible, we called it taco." Another scoffed, "There is no deal lol. As can sell whatever it wants to Indonesia at no tariffs, but what exactly is it going to sell? And really, it does look a bit like a tuppage memo. If Americans don't buy the Indonesian coffee or sneakers, what happens next?" Jakarta could always pivot deeper into China's market, where they already enjoy free trade perks. To be fair, analysts see a modest boost for Indonesia's energy and agricultural sectors. The country's stock index ticked up about 0.7% on the news, as investors bet on capital inflows and potential rate cuts. But non-oil exports think footwear and textiles may still struggle under the 19% levy. Just as Indonesia was putting pen to paper, inside the US Treasury, Scott Bessent was on the phone with Bloomberg saying, "Don't sweat the China deal deadline. It's flexible." That's right. While Trump sets hard deadlines and brandishes threats, his Treasury Secretary whispers that timelines can and will bend. In fact, Bessent told Congress that he can roll the deadline forward for any country negotiating in good faith. The original Liberation Day tariff barrage slated for August 12 now has an asterisk, unless we decide otherwise. China's timeline? Rumored to be August 10, another moving target. Trump's tough talk meets Treasury's soft sell. This split-screen strategy, bluster in public, flexibility behind closed doors, keeps investors on edge. One day stocks rally on hopes of a deal, the next they dive when ditto conflicting messages from the president and his Treasury chief. That's a recipe for market whiplash. So why the mixed bag? Bluntly, politics. Trump needs to appear tough, as though slapping tariffs turns the world's economy into his bargaining chip. Meanwhile, Bessent's real job is to prevent a full-blown trade war that could tip the US into recession. It's a balancing act, sound hard line to please the base, but maneuver softly to protect Wall Street. To many Americans, this looks absurd. Threats of 32% tariffs, last-minute deals, then deadlines that evaporate. One viewer joked, "Americans are like that frog in a slow boil, they'll wake up in 4 years when Trump is gone." Harsh, but maybe not far off. If I ran the show, here's a punchier play. Instead of tweeting threats at dawn and mumbling deadlines by dusk, hold clear. Transparent talks invite independent monitors, publish framework agreements side by side, and let all parties choose to opt in or out. That way, nobody can call it paper promises, and maybe, just maybe, we'd get real progress instead of political theater. So Indonesia says yes-ish, China gets a pass, and we're left wondering, did we just watch a trade tango, or did someone forget to teach the steps? Either way, stay tuned, because in the art of modern trade politics, the only guarantee is that the next plot twist arrives just when the deadline does. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive with a side of snark, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and let us know, which deal do you find the most bewildering? Until next time, keep asking questions and don't let the headlines fool you.